Hey there, Virgo. Welcome to your reading for May 2025. We're going to jump right in here, Virgo. You have this Panther spirit. It says reclaim your power. You have this Horse spirit. It says freedom is yours. So you could be creating a lot more freedom, or you could just be doing things that create more freedom in your life, which is great. It seems to be a time where people really have to claim the things that they want, right? And so that Panther spirit is saying reclaim your power. Now, one thing that I will say with the astrology is that Neptune and Aries energy. There is something about that. There's something about it that is basically saying, if you want something, you need to grab onto it. You need to attack it like a panther, and you need to make it happen. You really have to claim what you desire. And so I would be doing that with that card. And, if you do, then things will go very well for you, Virgo. So that's what I would do there. But this looks amazing so far. You have the Death card, the Page of Cups, and the Queen of Pentacles. So the Death card can, of course, represent a transformation. With the Judgment card coming up here, though, I feel this is more of a rebirth that you are going through. Again, I'm cheating a little bit here, Virgo, because of your past readings that I've done for you. I feel like Virgos have been undergoing a long-term rebirth, or, it's like you have been rebirthing yourself in some way. I think, maybe saying that you have been transforming yourself is a better way to say it. So I think a lot of you have been trying to transform yourself, or have been thinking about transforming yourselves in some way. I don't know where I'm going with that, but it's like you are changing is the feeling that I get here. The funny thing is we have the two pillars from the moon in the background of the Death card, and the sun is coming up between those two pillars. And then we go from here down to the sun. So it's almost like the sun is coming up in your life, and you could really feel that in May. It makes sense to me. I think, I literally just did the real 2025 readings last month in April. And I said that really 2025 doesn't start till May because we're finally clear of the retrograde energy that we've been dealing with forever. So I think for pretty much everyone that people could feel like the sun is coming out. We are finally clear. We are finally understanding things. We are finally moving in a direction, right? You have the Page of Cups. Definitely could be love here. In your future, you have this Loyal Heart card, and you also have the birds in the house coming up in the Lenormand in your third row, which could represent communication from a person, or just communicating with a person in general. So some of you could be, attracting an admirer. I always look at the Page of Cups as kind of just a general admirer energy. So you could admire a person, they could admire you. You both could be, shooting googly eyes at each other. I don't care. Whatever it is, it looks good, right? So if you want love, definitely could be a person coming in for you. You have the Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Pentacles is about increasing your resources, and that's what I feel like you're doing. You go up to the Eight of Pentacles, and I feel a lot of you are increasing your resources. Funny enough as well, I think I said this to you over the past couple months. I don't remember who I said it to actually, but it's I get this feeling I'm not saying you're not working hard either, Virgo, so don't take what I'm about to say the wrong way. But I think you don't even realize that you are at 40% of what you could be making. And that might sound crazy, but, that's the feeling I get here. And again, I'm not saying you're not working hard. I think you are, but at the same time, you have the Eight of Pentacles, you have the Ace of Pentacles coming up, and I think what we will discover, I say I think because I don't know, but what I'm hoping we discover in this reading is what do you need to focus on to make that happen? Eight of Pentacles would be one thing. Eight of Pentacles says you need to be more focused, right? Focus on what you're doing. He is working diligently. He is only focusing on one thing, and that's it, and he's completing it, right? Literally, that's something that changed my life. I'm a lunatic Pisces Gemini moon, right? I'm all over the frickin' place. What changed my life is I started having dedicated amounts of time for the things I'm doing, right? So when I'm doing this right here, my readings, I dedicate this time to the readings. I'm not thinking about anything else, right? I'm just focused on the readings. When I do other things, I'm only focusing on those things. And really, it's just a mindset shift, right? It's I just tell my brain to only focus on this. It's just that simple. And so I kind of feel that's one thing that could help. I think another thing that could really get you the rest of the 60% here would be the Seven of Swords. The Seven of Swords is about doing things in a different way, and we will talk about that more when we get to that next row. The other thing that I want to say with this Queen of Pentacles is that Queen of Pentacles is a card of multiplication. She has this rabbit right here, and rabbits multiply very quickly. And so the Queen of Pentacles says, can you focus on the things that work and multiply? And that's it. Just do those things. And if you do that, you'll probably make more money or increase your resources. But I like where this is going, Virgo, for sure. I think this is very good. Some of you could be attracting a Scorpio as well. I think you've had a Scorpio all up in your business for like a little bit of time with me. So there you go. With the Death card, you have the Moon. Yes, you're leaving a Moon period behind and you're stepping into the Sun. I'm not a big fan of readings that go from the Sun to the Moon. So luckily, in this reading, we're going from the Moon to the Sun, which is exactly what we want. It says you're stepping into a period of clarity, so I do like to see that. With the Page of Cups, you have the Queen of Wands. I don't even know what I'm talking about, but the Empress. So the Empress says you are very attractive at this time. You could be attracting a lot of people, honestly, with that Page of Cups. So, and it doesn't matter what gender you are either. So if you're looking for love, looks really good. The other thing is that you have the Empress and the Emperor. So, again, if you're looking for love, definitely could be attracting a divine counterpart into your life. I feel like there's like some sort of like minor obstacle here. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sugarcoat it here, Virgo. It feels like to me like there's a little bit of distance or something. You have good cards here. Like this reading isn't bad, but I just feel like, yeah, this could be a divine counterpart, but there could be like a little bit of distance or, it's like maybe it's your boss or something, right? It's like, maybe there are rules against it, right? But I always say I used to work at Starbucks when I was younger. I worked there forever. And, there was a rule against dating, but let me tell you, everybody's banging everybody at Starbucks. Any Starbucks you go into, I promise you, they're all doing stuff with each other. So, I don't know. Rules are meant to be broken, right? With the Queen of Pentacles, you have the Hangman. You probably feel like you're coming off of Hangman mode because we've had this extended time of retrogrades. Literally the Hangman, he doesn't represent retrogrades, but he kind of does. He's been put on pause to gain answers or to gain enlightenment. So a lot of you could just be gaining enlightenment after a period of being on pause, which makes sense. We just had like 6-7 months of straight retrogrades from November till April. And really, we don't clear the shadow of like everything until the beginning of May, this month, May. And so, again, a lot of you could finally be getting the clarity that we've been talking about with the Moon and the Sun and all that other stuff, right? Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have this card. It says, show the world the real you. You have this North Node card. It says, step out of your comfort zone. North Node is in your opposite sign, Pisces. So definitely a good time to explore other ways of doing things. A great time to really try to go for your goals, like really make those bigger moves at this time. I think that would be good. And like I said, I think you are transforming. Virgo is becoming something different in some ways. And you've been working on this for a long time. And so the Sun, the Empress, both say it's time to step into the light. And I really have nothing else to say about it because I feel like you are. You have the Ace of Pentacles, the Eight of Pentacles, and the Seven of Swords. The Ace of Pentacles could be a big opportunity that's coming in for you. And again, not to get too far ahead of myself here, but with the birds and the home in your next row, which we'll talk about in a minute, this could represent you receiving communication or like good news about an opportunity. So if you have been like applying for jobs or, applying for anything, you could finally be getting news about it. Sometimes I feel like the Ace of Pentacles can be a message. So, some of you could be receiving a message about like an opportunity that you've been trying to get, and that would be good, obviously. The Ace of Pentacles is something that you will want to nurture and grow. We have to treat the Ace of Pentacles like a baby. There's this garden right here, and, with a garden, you have to water it, fertilize it, feed it, weed it, give it sunlight, all that other good stuff. So if you're getting a new opportunity, I would really nurture it like a baby or a garden into existence because it'll be worth it. You have the Eight of Pentacles, which says the same thing. Eight of Pentacles is straightforward, diligent work. We are, the weird thing is like we're in a little bit of a confusing time, I feel, but it's also a very straightforward time. It's like if you stop yourself from allowing yourself to be confused, because for the most part, as a person who's always confused, me, right, it's just me confusing myself all the time. And really, it's like the straightforward answer usually is the answer to anything I'm confused about, right? I'm just trying not to be. I'm just trying to make something it isn't in most of those situations, right? And so the Eight of Pentacles is like straightforward, diligent work. I feel that. Like, I feel this card is almost just saying, keep it simple this month. If you find yourself coming up with these like crazy complex solutions or ideas about things, simplify it, and it will probably be a lot easier. And that's what I would focus on with the Eight of Pentacles. You have the Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords, he's stealing these swords from an army in the background of the card. So he's going to war, but in a different way. And that's really what the Seven of Swords represents. And, it can be lying, cheating, stealing, but really the Seven of Swords is a good card. Golden cards in the tarot are meant to be positive no matter what. And so it's a card of doing something in a different way. And it's also a card of being more lighthearted. Again, whenever, I always say, like, whenever the energy is one way, we should probably be the opposite. And so everything is like super serious right now, right? He has these polka dots on his cloak. Polka dots in the tarot represent taking things too seriously. So we probably need to go the other direction. We probably, all of us, everybody, needs to be more playful, needs to enjoy life more, needs to bring more love, joy, happiness to the world. And if we do that, then things will get better. If we don't, then things will get worse. So, I don't know. The choice is yours. With the Ace of Pentacles, you have the Ace of Wands. Yeah, if you are attracting a person, there obviously will be a lot of desire in the connection. Ace of Wands is out with the old, in with the new. I do feel there's like a lot of inspirational energy maybe this month. I didn't really expect this. Like every once in a while, I'll sit down. Like you are part of the first set of readings I'm doing for May. And so I usually sit down and just kind of like meditate on what I think is going to come up for the month or whatever I'm reading for. And, sometimes something comes up that I just didn't expect. So I didn't really expect literally every sign so far I've read for has had something about like sparks, like something that inspires you to do something greater with your life. And that's what I would pay attention to with the Ace of Wands, for sure. With the Eight of Pentacles, you have the Nine of Cups. Nine of Cups is like wish fulfillment. Maybe that's why I'm feeling a little bit of resistance here. It's like, this isn't bad. Like if this is a person that for some of you, I feel like you already have this person in your life. For some of you, I feel like you're about to. Nine of Cups is a good card, but it's a little dreamy. He doesn't necessarily have the wish that he wants yet. The story of the card is that this guy here, he's meant to look chubby because he's about to have a feast. So the reason he's about to have a feast is because he's had one before. So it can represent needing to act as if you have something before you have it to get the wish. That's what we have to do with the Nine of Cups. But I'm wondering, like, I feel something here. Like I said earlier, I can't quite explain it, but I feel something between these two people right here. And maybe it's a little bit like, maybe there's too much fantasy or something. Like, it's not bad, but I just feel that maybe it needs to be made a little bit more down to earth, a little bit more realistic so that you can make it happen or something. I don't know. We'll keep clarifying. We'll find out. With the Seven of Swords, you have the King of Pentacles. King of Pentacles, very practical, straightforward, exactly what I said, like simple. You do have the King and Queen of Pentacles here, so divine counterparts. Definitely could be love coming in for you. Could be another earth sign for sure. Could be any sign. You have basically everything here, Virgo, so it could be any sign. Scorpio also stands out to me. So like I said, it could be any sign that's coming in for you, but these two are very practical and they make things work, so that's a good sign as well. But I also feel for work or for the work you're doing, straightforward, practical is what you should be focusing on. Keeping things simple, don't overcomplicate things. The simple answer is probably the answer, right? Next, in the area of messages from your future self, you have this wild card. I always forget to pull these out, so we're just going to get rid of that. You have this birds card and this house card. The birds in the house could be messages that you're receiving in the home, literally. You could be receiving messages about your home, or you could be thinking about moving as well with these cards. But intuitively, I kind of feel more that there's like good news that you're receiving, or you're receiving news about something you've been waiting for news on. Like maybe you've been waiting for approval on something. The Ace of Pentacles could say you've been waiting for news about a job or a potential job, and you definitely could be getting that news with these two cards. You have the Emperor, the Judgment card, and the Sun. The Emperor could be a person, as we've already said. that's coming in for you. There seems to be a lot of opportunity in the month of May. And the thing about the Emperor is he is ready for an opportunity. He has his armor on underneath his cloak on this card. So he's ready to go at a moment's notice. It says, when an opportunity presents itself, take it and don't wait. He is, like I said, he is sitting here. He's relaxing. He's not stressing out. He's keeping things simple. But when an opportunity presents itself, he jumps on it. And I would definitely do that. The other thing is he's holding on to this Ankh right here, and you have the Judgment card right below it. The Ankh is a symbol of rebirth, and so you have the Judgment card, which can also represent like a rebirth. And so clearly you are part of the opportunity that could be coming in for you. It just feels like a rebirth to me, like you are rebirthing something. I feel like I've said this to you before. There's something for Virgo in this, what I'm about to say. I don't really know what it is, but I feel like Virgos, I know I've said this to you before, I'm going to say it again, that you have like a skill, something that you did years ago, or something that you are good at. And I really feel that Virgos need to use that skill right now. And maybe you are, maybe you aren't. Maybe you need to double down on it a little bit more, or maybe you need to sprinkle that skill into your work that you do more. And I feel that could be where this like rebirth is happening. Like, I don't even have a good example. I wish I did. But, it's like maybe you're good at selling and maybe you have a business. But it's like maybe you haven't been using your sales skills to grow your business. And now you are. It's like you need to sprinkle more of that stuff, that magic into what you're doing right now. And, I really feel that's what the rebirth is all about. It's like you're mixing skills together. I say this because we go up to the Temperance card. The Temperance card is showing up in the good stuff, and the Temperance card is mixing two things together, right? I feel that you have an old skill that you can mix with a new idea. Those two things, coming together here is where the magic happens, and I think that's what you should focus on. You have the Sun. I feel like you're stepping into the light. I think I said that earlier. It's like you're getting attention, you're standing out, which is exactly what you should be doing. The Sun makes the whole entire reading more positive, so there definitely could be just a much better energy coming in for you at this time. I also feel that like the Sun is kind of coming up in the reading because you started with the Moon, and the Death card with the Moon, the two pillars from the Moon on it. And so you could notice that you feel more clear. Maybe you feel more clear-headed this month, especially as we move throughout the month. You could start feeling more clear-headed or more focused. And the Eight of Pentacles really requires focus right here. So this is a good thing. This is like energy moving in the right direction. With the Emperor, you have the Nine of Wands. Told you, I was feeling some sort of resistance here with it, between those two. And so the Nine of Wands is like the Wounded Warrior. I really don't think it's that big of a deal. I just think it's something you will feel. That's why I'm mentioning it, because I feel that you could feel the resistance from a person if you're meeting a person or between the two of you. It's like I said, probably not even going to cause any problems, but it's just something to think about. So if you are attracting a person who has wounds, then you're going to want to make sure that they are healed. You're going to want to make sure that you are healed. The good news is the Nine of Wands, the guy isn't giving up. It's a card of perseverance. So I don't think this person has given up on love or anything like that, but you might notice that they're a little distant. It's funny that I said distance, right? You might notice that this person is distant at times or something. And again, I think there's a very easy solution. It's called use your mouth. Open your mouth, talk, right? Tell them, like, why are you being weird? Why are you being distant? Why are you being standoffish? Why are you arguing? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that, right? And I think if you call it out, it will correct the behavior. So that's what I would do with that card. With the Judgment card, you have the Four of Cups. I feel this is Neptune and Pisces really energy. I feel people like there's something about Neptune and Pisces that where it's like, we have Neptune and Pisces. Neptune is in Aries, but it will retrograde into Pisces. In between the two, there's like something about the Neptune moving into Aries. It's in Aries right now. It will retrograde. It will move back into Aries, of course. But there's something about it that makes us maybe feel. It's like we feel like we can do something, but we feel like we can't at the same time. And I feel that you need to overcome that feeling and just push through it. There really is no good answer. I think you just have to push through the energy and you'll be fine. With the Sun, you have the Two of Swords, which you have twice right here. The Two of Swords is about probably looking on the bright side. She's thinking that her two options are this or that. but she has this third place solution, I call it, right here. It's something that she hasn't thought of yet. So if you're stuck, or if you end up feeling stuck at any time in the month of May, it just says, look for other solutions, Virgo. And if you look for other solutions, you'll find them. And that's it. Next, in the good stuff, you have this thinker card and this loyal heart card. You definitely could be attracting a very loyal person. Maybe that's why they're the wounded warriors, because they're like loyal to a fault and they always get hurt. So definitely something to think about. The thinker card, she is thinking here. There's like this face that's looking at her. I know it's probably hard to see on this camera, but there's a face here that's looking at her, and it's almost like she's been leveling up and she needs to go to the next level. So I feel this is you thinking about leveling something up in your life, probably your work or your career or your business or whatever you do. And I feel this is encouraging you to level up. You have the Temperance card, the Two of Swords, and the Eight of Cups. Temperance is like patience, but I really feel there's something about mixing two things together. He's mixing these cups together. He's practicing alchemy. This right here is called the path to glory, and that is your crown back there, Virgo. And so I feel this is saying like mixing skills that you have together or applying your skills differently in like work or rebirthing an old skill really could be the thing that gets you your crown. And I feel that's, plain and simple, Virgo, that's what this card is encouraging you to do, is like mix two things together. Two of Swords in the area of the good stuff says that you are seeing this new way of doing things or a different way of doing things, or you're finding new solutions. Again, I feel like this is work related. This reading, there's definitely love here, but I just feel something about work mostly in the reading. And it probably has to do with freedom. You have that horse spirit card that says freedom is yours. I think you are trying to create more freedom of time. There's so much stuff here about like simplification. When we simplify our work, we have more freedom. Duh. So, I feel a lot of you are trying to simplify things and create more freedom, and you are. The other thing is she has a blindfold on. So blindfolds in the tarot represent needing to trust your intuition. And I would make sure that you're trusting your intuition. You have the Eight of Cups. Eight of Cups in the good stuff is just walking away from things that no longer serve you, which is probably what you're doing. You're probably walking away from things that have been holding you back for too long or have been preventing you from moving forward. And yeah, that's it with the Eight of Cups. With the Temperance card, you have the Five of Swords. Five of Swords in the good stuff is taking a risk. So you could be taking a risk with that Temperance card. One thing I will say to you, Virgo, is based off your astrology, again, cheating a little bit here, over the past few years, I think that Virgos are thinking about like what they're sharing, like what they're putting out into the world. And like instead of like trying to please everyone, you could be speaking up more about your beliefs or how you think things should be. And like, yeah, sure, maybe that's a risk. Yeah, sure, people aren't going to like it, but I don't know. You really can't control how other people feel. So I don't know. I get this feeling of Virgo speaking up more, sharing their mind more and not really caring. With the Two of Swords, you have the Sun again, which is amazing. We have the Sun twice in your reading. So the Sun makes the whole entire reading more positive, and you definitely could be feeling more positive or feeling like things are going more your way. With the Eight of Cups, you have the Queen of Cups. Really, that's like the perfect summary to the reading. It's like you are following your heart. It's like when we take the risk of speaking our mind, we are speaking our truth. And the Queen of Cups, she does whatever she thinks her heart is telling her to do. She really follows her heart. And that's pretty much what I would do with that Queen of Cups. Next, you have this Wealth card. Really good money stuff in this reading. So, and pretty much everyone has had really good money cards in May. I've been saying since 2016, Neptune and Pisces is going to be bonkers for money, and I have not been wrong. We saw banks collapse during that time. We're going to probably see more of that. Money is funny and all this other stuff. So we're in a time where money is changing. When you think about it, Pisces rules anything that flows. Neptune, same thing, rules anything that flows. We call it currency, right? Money is changing. Money will change. What will it look like? I have no freaking clue. People ask me all the time, is it Bitcoin? Is it this? Is that? I'm like, I'm not even going to try to guess because I'll probably be wrong because Neptune is murky as well, right? So what does it look like? I have no clue. But you could be increasing your wealth, which is great. You have this lightning card. It says, control your anger or you will be sorry. Yeah, I don't know. Sure. Probably like Mars and Leo. I would be careful of your anger. You have this parrot card. It says, someone is gossiping about you and all your secrets. I say, let them talk. I love when people talk about me. It's free attention, right? So all attention is good attention. You might as well take it. You have this June card and you have this gong. It says an exciting event. June is a good month as well. So, I think that between now and June, you could be having something exciting popping up for you. Ace of Wands is like a spark. You have the sun twice. Really good stuff. So there could be some excitement. You have this hand card. It says, in need of help, assistance, or guidance. Yeah, don't be afraid to ask people for help. Some of you, with some of this rebirth stuff here in the Judgment card, it's like some of you could be tapping into a resource of people. It's like maybe there are people you've known that you haven't talked to in a while that could help you with your business or your career or whatever. And like, I feel this is saying, like, don't be afraid to ask for help. But this looks really good, Virgo. I love this. Best reading I've done so far. They've all been pretty good, but yours is definitely better. So love it. Thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your month.